ungumama onxibayo esontweni nasesontweni bendihlonipheka ndinabantwana 4 bakhuliswe ngumama oyedwa utata wabo akazange abakhulisa kuba apho ndisuke khona nazo kude kube ngoku ndizikhulisa kanzima noba ndingathandana nomntu ongumama ofana nam kodwa uNkulunkulu usecaleni kwam andiyi ndawo ndiyaqhubeka noba usitabana oko nindibiza ngako.
In the memory of dreams.
Stubborn. I remember going to the clinic with my mom once, and there was this effeminate guy, and everybody was laughing at him. And my mom said, "Stubborn." And I remember looking at him going, what does that mean?
I started off very conservative on the gay issue because I was socialized to understand that the only normal sexual relations is man, woman.
It is quite a difficult phenomenon, especially coming from an African, black African culture, you know, because well, it's due to ignorance, that's number one, but also there's lots of denial of the reality.
Given the tribal upbringing and the background from which we had come, and in fact our own communities had been very, very intolerant of anything that was not the normal.
Kukhuleni kwam abantu besilisa ndiyakhumbula nje ndikhe ndanaye umuntu esikolweni owathi lo mfana lo yena ke uyandithanda ndathi ke mna ke mntu wabantu ke andikuthandi ohlukana njalo so ndanaye kumfana nendandinaye naye wayengafana ifumane lento yam uyabo lonto leyo umuntu wesilisa ndandimthatha nje ndandimane wari qha umuntu wesilisa xa edlala ngomuntu ongumama uyabona mhlawumbe udlala badlalisana namantombazana uyayibona lento le ndibe newari ndithi kungaske laa mntana intombazana angahlangani nalo muntu wesilisa ngathi uzomphatha ngonuhlobo ingathi ndim ongamphatha kahle laa mntana intombazana uyayibona loo nto ubaba wabantwana bam endingatsho kuba hlobo endahlangana naye lukho hlobo asinohlobo lwabantu abathandanayo ufana nomuntu owanyanzelwayo ukuthi makandithande futhi nami ke ndandingekho into ethi mandimthande ndandingamthandi ngeziphandle ke kodwa kwenzeka ukuthi masibe nabantwana ngokupoqeka sisimo endandikhona.
I went to this colored school. Yeah, no. And then it was drama. It was rough for about a year. I mean, even though I had friends that didn't mind the fact that, you know, I was gay, you know, people started kind of telling them that, you know, if she's gay, she's gonna make moves on you, you can't trust her. And, you know, I mean, people started kind of buying all the negative perceptions of who I am.
I was involved in the underground. Some of the comrades knew of my sexual orientation, but maybe because of one's behavior and all that. But also I knew quite a few comrades who I knew very well that were either lesbian or gay.
When I was helping mobilize students behind the United Democratic Front, all kinds of issues, including these issues or the gay issues, came up.
The doors for acceptance in Uganda and 30 more propagandas, and sing a song for my heroes forgotten once upon times, whose walls are vain in the Constitution. I use up the tears I weep at the funerals of black gays and lesbians killed in the townships.
Particularly when we were in the Delmas trial, the issue really became a big issue for us, because amongst us was one of the accused, whom I hadn't known before our arrest. We came to know each other very well when we were now on trial. The vast majority of us were very uneasy about when we discovered that one of the accused amongst us was gay, and he was quite committed, very, very committed to the struggle to gain freedom. The valuable work that he had been doing with us both outside and inside, when we were now in jail. That really touched me very deeply.
Simon's presence within the movement was instrumental, because then there was a face, a human person behind these claims that we were pushing.
Into kaSineke uba ngaba akakho namhlanje iyandihate kakhulu uyabona loo nto, because ezi-planning zethu ukuthi sibe khona njalo njalo. Besibonana eCity Hall, sihlale ezitulweni sincokole kube kuphelile okanye sizihambele, kanti besimhlale yazi ihistory yethu sobabini. Besikhe sihambe ngenyawo siyozihlalele ekhasino. So impilo yethu ibinjalo, besichitha nje e-beach. Sihlale nje ubusuku bonke, sihlale ngohlobo futhi besingamanje esihlala futhi ukuba ngaba sinamali singanayo iwari yalonto besisihlalela. City Hall iyasaza ezazitulo ebusuku ngenye ixesha o-security andithi siyozela sihlala lapha ezitulweni silala lapha ezitulweni zizi-security zithi akusalalwa ezitulweni phakamani asilali siba senza into silele nje bandisikhathela ndithi ukuhamba ubusuku bonke ngenyawo sinyuka sihla nje uyabona loo nto leyo. Yena shem uSineke uyandithanda yena, kodwa ingxaki yakhe into yokuba asifumani indawo yokuthi sihlale permanent sobabini.
Why should we deny them that right? Because people will never be happy unless they too can enjoy the same right that I enjoy. And when we say it Constitution, people must have equal rights. Well, if I have the right to choose who will be my partner for life, then everybody else must have the right to do so, and the gay people must also have the right.
And then when you have statements and people like John Kolani who needs to wake up and realize that this whole homophobia thing is a diversion. It's an easy ticket.
The most important thing was when one ANC leader a few years ago made a statement that sounded homophobic. He was corrected by then ANC Youth League President Fikile Mbalula, who's now a minister in the cabinet. And Mr. Mbalula made the point that gay rights are human rights and that our constitution protects human rights and protects everyone who's entitled to human rights. And the person in question then apologized. And the person in question was now President Jacob Zuma. So I thought that was a very humbling, a very important and a very illuminating episode in the history of the ANC, affirming the human rights of everyone, including gays and lesbians.
Mna bafuni mna ndibe nomuntu ondihlala naye. Uyayibona loo nto endimthandayo, uyayibona bona benza abakuthandayo phi endlini yam.
Uthi mama impilo yami isaqhubeka usho uthini mawuthi iyaqhubeka?
Sithetha ukuthi ndiyasithandela mna umuntu ofana nam.
No, kwaba nzima ke kum ke loo nto.
Kaloku umuntu uyawuzenzela umzi wakhe uba ngaba kuzojikwa thini.
Oh, le nto yenzayo uvisa thini inhliziyo ebuhlungu musa hloboni zangahle?
Into oluvisa inhliziyo ebuhlungu.
Uthanda nomuntu ofana nawe.
Asoze kwakudala nje mntana. Kwakudala nje. Le into kakudala nje. Iso-2010.
And now
ilizwe alibuki mna phandle.
And now
Kha umuntu makabe ngumuntu ozaziyo nje yena ukuthi kwenzekani empumlweni yakhe.
When I then came out in the news, it was a shock to me that people were starting to react. I had guys coming over and saying, we need to teach you you're a woman. And people coming over and saying to my mom, why don't you do something about this? This is not normal. Stop her. She'll influence everybody else. The Equality Court seems toothless. The Constitutional Court seems toothless. People are being attacked left, right, and center.
We are part of Africa. We are all Africans in this country. Our constitution is an African constitution. And yet we are an island of equality for gays and lesbians, an island of constitutional equality at least for gays and lesbians, in an African sea of hatred, of criminalization, of threats of death penalty laws, of victimization, of raids, of violence.
Once upon a time we were activists. I've just been to Uganda. Those activists are fighting for their lives.
David Kato, because he really was a defender, an activist, a defender for those people who are being oppressed.
We come a very long way. However, for me, the struggle needs to continue. We need to take the vanguard role of ensuring that those rights are not trampled upon.
That's the Constitution, that's the people. Two very separate, huge, there's a big gap there. You know, so you then look at those kinds of things and you go, okay, so yeah, I'm living in a country that is one of the best. The Constitution says I'm free as a woman. But when I get attacked and raped out there, where's that Constitution?
I would put that in this broader setting, that our Constitution promised equality, it hasn't delivered yet. It promised dignity, it hasn't delivered yet. The Constitution is a process, and that's something that the Constitution does, even when we criticize it for not being as strong as it should be. But I think the Constitution is the most important and promising and the most powerful instrument to achieve those ends in our society.
Pride is no longer a march, it's a pride parade. They're celebrating. They have every reason to celebrate.
The question is whether we can celebrate when so many people are suffering discrimination for being gay and lesbian.
Where I'm sitting, I'm comfortable, yes, I'm living a kind of a pseudo middle class lifestyle. And yes, I feel a little safer because I'm not living in the township anymore. But how many of my township sisters are being murdered and raped right now? The whole country will be looking at this homosexual issue and saying, oh yeah, take away these gay rights because they're not part of our tradition. We should be fighting for the right to have a better hospital. Those are things we actually, all of us, should be fighting for. You know? It's a diversion. I mean, taking away my homosexual rights is not going to give you better education.
We should not have a place in our society for people who approach life with ignorant, backward ideas of centuries gone by. We must not allow such a backward elements to lead society.
And we can start here in our own heads and our own hearts to change for the better, to understand better, to be more accepting, to be more open, to be less prejudiced. That's a process that gave us hope when we had apartheid, and it's a process that gives us hope even now for everyone in South Africa.
Why should I live a lie? You know, it's either I fight for who and what I am, or I remain in silence and die in silence.
And kwangamhlawumbe ndenza okurongo emhlabeni uNkulunkulu uzakwazi. And futhi akho mntu uzanqanda ndiyaqhubekeka ngempilo yami and ndonwabile ngempilo yami. Great.
LGBTQ are still not free. Still not free. Still not free. Don't pa-da-ka-da, da-ka-da. Don't pa-da-ka-da, da-ka-da. Don't pa-da-ka-da, da-ka-da. Don't pa-da-ka-da, da-ka-da. In the memory of dreams to be free and desires to be accepted as African, lost with butched abortions of queens and queers looking in mirrors at the corners of Mother Earth. I find myself flushed in public toilets covered in gunk that block sewage overflowing into township streets, left to die in memory lanes and books of yore as they tell me homosexuality is new to Africa. I see myself in the darkness digging in the mass graves looking for my name scribbled over the graffiti and identity crisis. In the memory of dreams to be free and desires to be accepted as African, lost with butched abortions of queens and queers looking in mirrors at the corners of Mother Earth. I feel the pain in my tongue cut to silence the songs the heart of a black brother in love with another sings, with the voice deep freeze in silence on ocean beds where Africa's greatest secrets are kept. I hum at the doors for acceptance in Uganda and 30 more propagandas, and sing a song for my heroes forgotten once upon times, whose words lie vain in the Constitution, are used to wipe the tears I weep at the funerals of black gays and lesbians killed in the townships.